Hi, I'm Victoria Cipriano-Gorman, and you can find me on Instagram at Victoria's_dish.
And I'm Lindsay O'Neill. You can check me out on Instagram at Linz O'Neill. And we are
The Healthy Dish.
Okay, so you can also follow us. We have a new website, thehealthydish.tv, and you can follow us on Instagram.
at The Healthy Dish TV.
Right.
And today we are doing
Healthy holiday entertaining. Yes, so excited to get started. So Vicki is going to get started on
Just going to pop a few things in the oven.
Yes, and I am going to do a very important job. I'm going to make our holiday cocktail. So of course we always want to have a little bit of a healthy-ish spin. This cocktail isn't necessarily the healthiest from the core ingredient, which is going to be my favorite bourbon, which is Four Roses. But we're going to make it a little bit more healthy with some cinnamon sticks and some blood orange. So we're going to use the blood orange juice, and we're going to peel off some slices of the blood orange to make it look so pretty. And today I'm going to use blood orange in my appetizer.
I wanted to say what I'm putting in the oven.
Yes.
So I have little red bliss potatoes, which I've halved. I took an onion, a white onion that I've just quartered, and I took an apple for just a little interest. It will be sweet and caramelized. I left the skin on it, so it looks pretty. I'm going to place these in the oven with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and some salt and pepper, and that's going to go in the oven. So go ahead, carry on.
And you have the oven on what, 400?
Yeah, you want it on 400, 450, depending on how much time you have. I also like to, a little trick, I like to put the potatoes, because I am the potato whisperer.
Yes, you are. We love your potatoes.
Face side down, because that's going to get them caramelized on that side. I would do that with everything, onions, apples, and...
Do you have to flip them?
I will flip them at some point if I have to, but it really gets them nicely. I want to coat everything. It really does the trick. It gets everything like brown and crispy and nice and pillowy soft inside.
I love it. So this is the blood orange. It's really delicious and sweet, and it has
This is on, correct?
Yes, it has about the same nutritional content as a regular orange would, but it has so much more flavor, and it's really, really just so super delicious.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous? So I have a little bit of bourbon in here. You don't need that much. We're just trying to make a quick little cocktail, because you know the holidays can get stressful, and you need a little something to calm the nerves, especially if you've got your in-laws coming over or your other family. And then I'm just going to take the other half of the blood orange and squeeze a little bit right here into this cocktail, and it's going to make it almost into like an old-fashioned, but without all of the added sugar. The sweetness from the blood orange and from the cinnamon stick will compensate for the lack of sugar in
really
this holiday cocktail. So we're going to just use that cinnamon stick to kind of stir it up, and then we are good to drink.
Oh my God, it smells really, really good.
It's really delicious. And it's super easy to make. I made that in what, like 45 seconds? So good. All right, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, and happy birthday.
Thank
It's
you.
Miss Lindsay's birthday, so
yes.
Cheers, girl. That's good. It's got a little kick, too.
It does. Well, it's bourbon.
Hello.
So you're going to get started with your
With
stuff?
this, I'm going to be making, these are petite filet mignons.
Yummy.
But if you're entertaining, you can do multiple filet mignon roasts, and with the same kind of rub I'm going to put on this, which is very simple. You are welcome to jazz it up, but this will serve a nice crowd of people. This is great for, a date night, whatever. It's super simple, it's easy. Most people really enjoy it, and it's just, it's a crowd pleaser. And you can get this, you can buy it at,
butcher,
a box store, a butcher, and so you can spend as much money as you want on it. But
these are really beautiful, and these are grass-fed, so there's a good amount of iron, but there's also omegas in grass-fed beef that you would get from like eating an avocado. It's really good and healthy. And we've got some pink Himalayan salt that also helps you retain water. So I know that salt in general, iodized salt, it bloats you. But when you're using a really good salt, a real salt, it can actually help you keep you hydrated, and it's good for your hair and your skin and all that stuff.
So I put a little bit of salt on this before, but I like to dry them off. This cast iron pan has been getting hot.
Yes, it's very hot. Some
And
like it hot.
You can see these are tied up with a little piece of string. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to really give these a nice rub, and I'm going to go all in.
And that's just salt and pepper, right?
Yep, this is salt and pepper. That's
Awesome.
really all they need.
And do you put anything in the pan?
No, I'm not going to put anything in the pan.
Because it's cast iron, so it's already seasoned.
Yep, it's cast iron, and it's getting hot. At the end, when I flip them, I'm going to put a pat of butter.
Yummy.
Because it needs a little something for the second half.
It's a leaner of the steak. It's not very marbled, so it needs a little bit more fat.
Super simple to cook. People might think it's intimidating because it's a little pricier than a piece of what you might normally buy. But you really want to get that seasoning. Let it get in there.
So while she's doing that, I'm going to make an appetizer. One of my favorite.
What
do you need, honey?
I just want to wash my hands.
One of my favorite things to make to amp up the flavor profile as well as the nutritional content for the holidays is I make a fresh cranberry sauce, which I'm going to zhuzh up with some blood orange, you guessed it, and some spices. It's going to have a little bit of a cook.
You want to hear that sizzle.
Oh yeah, that's a nice sizzle. And I'm going to take some grilled chicken that I actually just grilled up, took it hot off the grill. I'm going to slice it, and then I'm going to blanch these collard greens and then put them in an ice bath just to retain that bright, delicious green color. And I'm going to wrap up the chicken, put a little toothpick in them, and then you can dip them in that cranberry sauce, and it is so good. And it's so pretty. It's the greens and the reds of the holiday season, but really anybody can make this at any time of year.
Do you salt the water, either one of the waters?
No.
Because that helps keep the green too.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm learning something new every day.
You could see already how it's starting to cook.
Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm just going to blanch these. Literally, I'm just putting it in the water. I'm getting a nice facial at the same time.
Yes, we are.
And then, look, it turns a beautiful green color. I pop it in the ice bath. And now, collard greens come in all shapes and sizes. I like to get the larger the better because it just gives you a little bit more surface space to work with when you cut it up. But, like anything, bigger's not always better. You want to get good quality too. So are you going to sear those medium rare?
We're getting a nice crust on these, yes.
Awesome.
I would never cook a filet mignon past medium rare.
Okay.
Most chefs at a restaurant hate to cook
We went out
it.
for dinner last night, and our friend,
She got well done. I got
Bex.
medium rare, and her steak was
So much smaller.
half the size of mine because
It was really funny.
they cooked it to death. But yes, I'm going to cook the medium rare, and yes, and we're gonna cook them. You have to let them rest.
yeah.
That's extremely important.
So then also with these collard greens, you want to make sure that you dry them off after you're done blanching them. So I'm just going to give them a little toss so that they stop cooking in this ice bath. And I want to dry them off so I don't have wet appetizers because that's just not fun. That's not pretty. With the chicken, what I did with the chicken is I just lightly seasoned it. I used a little bit of garlic and salt and, of course, some blood orange juice to keep the flavors consistent, the flavor profile consistent. You can also use a different citrus if you don't want to use blood orange for everything. And then you just grill the chicken. Yep, of course. And when we slice it up, we want to make sure it's not too big because these are basically supposed to be bite size, and nobody wants to see you walking around with a big thing of green collard greens and cranberry sauce on your face. So you want to make sure that they're sliced nice and thin. Oh, so you put the butter in with it. That's awesome.
So now I'm going to lower this temperature. I don't know
Yeah.
how to.
Let me just turn it off. That'll be perfect.
No. All right.
It'll stay hot.
Okay. It's cast iron. You can't do this in a regular frying pan because it won't keep
You need
the
cast
heat.
iron.
You have to have cast iron. Like
Yeah.
I've tried, and you'll end up with a completely rare piece of meat. If you don't want to smoke up your house, you can get if you want it more well done, you can, brown it on both sides and put it in a 400-degree oven.
Oh.
And then you're good. Like, it will finish cooking in there. But these are not very big, so this is the move to do it on the top of the stove.
That is the move.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna get over to my sauce while the collards dry themselves off. So what I did is I basically have just one container of cranberries. You just get the fresh cranberries, you put them in there. I put a little bit of apple juice, and I'm gonna put some blood orange. Sorry, excuse my reach. Some blood orange zest. And this is gonna give it a nice acid, although the cranberries really already do have a good amount of acid. Sometimes if the cranberries are popping and they're blistering and they seem a little too tart and too sweet, I will put a touch of honey in there to add some natural sweetness. You can also put maple syrup in there if you want, but you don't want to go too deep on the rind or else it'll also contribute to the bitterness. Yeah. But the juice of the blood orange. So you're going to do zest of a whole blood orange. We had, basically it was about 2 cups of fresh cranberries that have reduced down over the last little bit. And we're gonna add in a spice mixture as well. So I've already put some salt in there. I don't want it to be too salty, but I want it to have that umami, the salty, savory, sour, sweet, all of the different areas of your tongue that are gonna get hit with all that flavor, which is gonna be so good.
If you could see here, see how I'm browning the sides just quickly, because you want to have that brown on all sides. It literally takes a quick sec to just get that.
All right. So I'm gonna cut this blood orange and get the juice in there before I put in my spices. So I like to put in some Ceylon cinnamon, which is actually really good for you. It's an Ayurvedic spice. It's good for inflammation and for your memory. It's kind of like turmeric. I mean, you'd have to eat a lot of it, but I do in the fall, in the winter, I eat a lot of cinnamon. I put it in pretty much everything. And you can also use a little bit of nutmeg I have in there, some cloves. I put a little bit of ginger, just because I love ginger with this chicken. It's such a great accompaniment to it. Easy for me to say. And then I have a tiny bit of cayenne pepper for the heat. So I'm just gonna pour that right in there. And I'm going to mix this up. And because it's already pretty much cooked, do you smell that?
It smells amazing.
It smells so good, right? So because it's pretty much already cooked down, I'm just gonna pop this into the bowl. And then I'm gonna line up that chicken once I get it wrapped next to
I'm just gonna add
the
in
sauce.
some Brussels sprouts.
Look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty?
That looks gorgeous.
All right. And everybody is going to walk in your house and go, "What are you cooking? It smells so good in here." And it's not just Vicky's perfume or her natural aura.
I am sweet and spicy.
She is very sweet and spicy.
So we have a green vegetable. We don't have to mess another pan. This like time just a little bit. They don't take quite as long. I'm throwing some Brussels sprouts in here.
And Brussels sprouts are great in the wintertime. You can actually get them on the vine, right?
Yes, I was excited for that, but it's not time yet.
No.
That's actually, my kids love them too. Brussels sprouts are so good with salad, which you will see in an episode. But Brussels sprouts roasted in the oven with a little bit of bacon.
Oh, yum.
And then when you're done with that, when they come out all nice and crispy, you drizzle some balsamic glaze on that. And I don't care if you think you don't like Brussels sprouts, you'll like Brussels sprouts.
So one trick with that though, I always undercooked the bacon before I realized you have to cook the bacon a little bit before you toss it in with the Brussels sprouts.
Or you just cut it smaller.
Or you just cut it smaller. You know me. I like things big. Big personalities.
So these are done. They're gonna rest
Okay.
for a minute.
Do you want to put them on the plate?
I'm gonna let them rest there just in case anything should ooze out for just a moment.
Okay. So Vicki, what do you do typically for the holidays?
Typically for the holidays, I go to Connecticut, and my wonderful sister hosts probably over 50 people.
Wow.
Yes, on Thanksgiving we've had it's like a turkey tussle. We've made 20 turkeys.
Holy
yeah,
cow!
It's like an assembly line. We've
Wow.
dialed it back a little bit. Yeah, my brother-in-law thinks everyone needs like a turkey to go. He has a lot of sisters, and he wants everyone
That's a lot
to
of tryptophan.
He has a lot of it was an assembly line. Yeah, but yeah. So, but last Christmas we went to Florida, and it was great. We went out and we were at the beach. The whole family was down in Florida, so that was kind of nice.
I don't really know what's going to happen this year, but hopefully everything will be.
Hopefully it will be nice, but here are some things you can make.
If it's a smaller crew.
A smaller crew, these are things you can scale big and small, which is very nice. So this looks delicious.
It's really good.
Could you even put like a little sun-dried tomato or something in there?
Well, no, you got the
Oh,
cranberry.
you got the cranberry,
Yeah,
right.
that's a little too many flavors.
Okay.
But you know, the cranberry, I'll make you one if you want one.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, so this is
These
it's
we
really
can
just
eat on the ride home with.
it's true with the bourbon. Don't call the police on us. But no, these are really great. I've done them with a ribeye before. You can do them
very
with
nice.
shrimp if you are not into meat. You can do them with mushrooms if you're looking for a vegan option. There's a lot of different options, but just play around with it and have fun. I mean, the holidays again can be so stressful, and this is one thing that I like to make because A, it's delicious, B, it's packed full of nutrition, but also it's like kind of calming.
It's fun and it's festive. It's got the
Exactly.
colors of the season, which is
Exactly. And
really
you can put
nice.
some fresh cranberries around here. You can lay some rosemary
We
on the
have-
plate. That's not my, you're better at this than
One
I
of
am.
the family traditions of Christmas is my Aunt Mary makes this the pork, the crown roasted pork with the stuffing in the middle.
Yum.
That the exes in my life still miss that. They want to come home just for that. It's epic. It's really something delicious.
Wow.
You need a power nap after a piece of that.
You
But
sleep
it is
straight
good.
through to New Year's?
It is good stuff. You're like, okay, good night, everybody. After that, but it's good. It's beautiful too. That's a major presentation.
Well, I like to do the small things, the small hinge stuff. My website, my whole concept is you don't have to change everything to change everything. So you just make some small changes. Try to make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
We've all got a lot going on, and and especially around the holidays when you have to worry about shopping and
Right.
all that jazz.
Well,
But
it was hard when, like 6 years ago, my body decided that I was gluten-free to go home.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And everyone was looking at me like, well, what are you doing about that?
you're like, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. So it was hard to find some options with meatballs and lasagna
Yeah.
and all that. So
Well, and this is totally 100%
Right,
gluten-free.
exactly.
It's great for Hanukkah too. It could be kosher.
Right.
There's no dairy. You're not mixing stuff up. And it's a people pleaser.
people get
And it doesn't have to be warm. It
people
doesn't
get
have
a
to be piping
little
hot.
nervous when you say gluten-free, but everything we've made today, there's no gluten in anything.
Nope.
And it's all very it looks very elegant and delicious, and there's really nothing.
And there's lots of extra nutrition.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of B vitamins in the Brussels sprouts and the collard greens. You've got vitamin K, you've got vitamin D, you've got vitamin A, right, in the Brussels sprouts.
Yep.
Magnesium, which is good for relaxing you, so you don't necessarily need to drink as much if you are. Also, if you wanted to make this cocktail not a cocktail, but you wanted to make it into a mocktail, I have your knife. I'm sorry. Do you need your knife?
No, not yet.
You could do it with apple cider, which is really good. Apple cider.
Oh, they
and
make the sparkling cider
Oh,
for
yeah,
kids.
you could
so
do
can
like
make
the
that,
Martinellis.
yeah, that's always fun to have for littles. They like that. They
Yeah.
think they're having champagne along with everybody.
It's very cute.
yeah.
My girls do that. But yeah, you can do an apple cider. You can do like the aranciata,
Oh, right.
the
yes.
orange. The sparkling orange juice.
San Pellegrino
Italian.
makes some
San
very nice,
Pellegrino,
yeah, they make some very nice sparkling drinks. Yeah, it's always nice to offer your guests options because,
You never know.
yeah.
We've all gone a little off the rails during COVID. So some people might just want to get started early on their detox.
I get full. I like to pick a lane if I'm drinking or eating.
Yeah.
You know that.
I know. I took my daughters out for lunch the other day for National Daughters Day and for my birthday, and I decided to drink my dessert. So I had a nice little glass of wine with my lunch, and then we hung out at the beach and sobered up a little bit afterwards. But you know, it's great to have lots of different things that different people are going to like, that they're going to get excited about, because you eat with your eyes first and with your nose. And so just having like lots of different options to tempt all of the taste buds of all of the different guests that you have in your house.
Choices are good.
Choices are good.
Always good to have choices.
I'm a Libra, so I get a little overwhelmed.
Oh, there's the tongs.
What are you looking for?
Keep losing your tongs.
Oh, that's okay. Well, this year, I think we're going to go up to the Berkshires and hopefully have a white Christmas. I love the snow. The first couple of times it snows, it's great until, you know, and then you get boxed in with snow, and that's not so fun. But I like to have a white Christmas, white holiday, because we ski. We love to ski, and it's always great to eat a big meal and then go out and do some sort of exercise. Even on Thanksgiving, my family, we'd always go for a walk after the big Thanksgiving meal, and it's just nice to get outside, and especially in the flurrying snow. So that's what I'm hoping for this year. All right, so this is the chicken, and I threw out a piece of collard green because it wasn't looking so fresh, but you can make this into whatever you'd like to make it into. Do you want to try one?
I'm going to wait a minute for that, only because I don't want to smile with
greens in your mouth?
Taste, but like, when we cut, I
like
will.
Jim Carrey? Do I have something in my teeth?
It is toasty in here.
It is toasty in here. It's because of you, Vicki. She's always making it hot in here. So this is a great appetizer, and you use the blood orange in a couple different things in the cocktail and in the sauce. And now look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous.
So what I'm going to do...
How'd you do that so fast?
That's what I do. So the potatoes got nice and caramelized.
Yummy, yummy. I love a good caramelized potatoes. I don't know how she does it.
And so
I mess mine up all the time.
Roasted onions here too, which everybody likes some onions. Now these are the
sweet.
apples. Here's the roasted apples, which are...
Do you eat those with the onions and the potatoes?
Onions and apples go together.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just really complement each other well. And then what I wanted to do, I'm going to throw it right on the hot pan. I have cranberries.
Ooh, cranberries.
So this is going to just add a little Christmassy vibe.
Could you put some almonds or something in there, or walnuts? Or?
I do. They're across the room, but I thought of that. But you were doing your thing there. So I'm going to mix the cranberries in with the Brussels.
Nice.
So we have our Christmas colors.
Yep.
Together, but
and good flavors too. So you've got the savory and the salty and the sweet.
You get a little bite there.
What about spicy? You know I like it spicy.
Well, I mean, sometimes I like to add. Some turmeric.
Oh, turmeric.
Turmeric and some smoked paprika.
Ooh, yummy.
And a little hot pepper flakes. Good. If we did it on a separate pan, but we were conserving here.
We're doing one pan dinners.
That will make it very. That will give it a nice kick.
And you made a whole holiday meal in 20 minutes.
Right, and so that's the thing. If you have a lot of gas, it's simple to use. If you use a big pan like this, you can really have. Keep it, so you're not tethered to the kitchen.
This is stuff that family can help with too. Like I can have my kids roll up the chicken, and you can have your kids chopping the onions, and we could have everybody helping us with our meal.
I did potatoes. I didn't have to peel.
True. Kept the skin on, which is where all the nutrition is anyway.
Exactly. Like this was not a difficult thing to make, and it's beautiful. And if you had the roast filet, you would just slice it up. But again, you have to let it rest for almost the same time you cook it.
Okay. So if
Otherwise-
you're cooking it for 7 to 10 minutes, you let it
You
rest
want to
for
less
7.
for seven,
Okay.
yeah, because
That's good to know.
otherwise, whether you do it medium rare or rare, it's going to bleed all over the place, and you'll lose all the juices.
Yeah.
So if you let it rest nicely, you'll have a tender, juicy piece of meat.
This is the perfect amount of food for a holiday too. You're
yeah.
not going to be over full with
And
this.
there's nothing bad in here for you. These are farm fresh potatoes, so they're super light and fluffy, and they're not like it's not a dense potato that's going to be bad for you. So they cook really fast, obviously.
Those are great. And anything what you need to have organic, anything that eats off the ground like chicken, anything that grows in the ground like potatoes, and that's typically your rule. Blood oranges, they grow in trees, so they don't necessarily need to be organic, but the best you can do around the holidays to get fresh food from either the farm stand or the grocery store or your butcher, just to keep everything healthy and delicious is the way to go.
And we want to thank you for joining us, because this is our pleasure. We love doing this.
We do.
And love that you join us, and we wish you all a happy holiday.
Happy holiday, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes.